welcome. So glad that you are here again on today. Happy Thursday. I am so excited to be with you here on the 30-day Get Your Life Challenge. My name is Cheryl Thomas. I am a minister, best-selling author, and certified Christian life coach, and we are on a fantastic, fabulous journey. And I hope that you have been sharing this. I hope that you have been letting your friends know that we are on this journey. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, hey, Ella, thanks so much for joining. I appreciate you. Thank you. I think you have been the most consistent. I've seen you every day. So, thanks so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for sharing. So excited about we're on day 9, y'all. We are rolling through this challenge. God has been blessing me tremendously, and I pray that this has been a blessing to you as well. Let me just jump on here real quick. As always, I'm going to ask you to share. And thank you so much, Ella, for sharing. I'm going to ask you to share with all of your friends, all your family. Make sure that you aren't the only one that's viewing. I see I'm having a little trouble here on Instagram, but we will get with that family later. But for all of you that are watching, hey, Sherry, thanks so much for joining. All of you that are watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, welcome again to the 30-day Get Your Life Challenge. I'm so very excited about what God is doing in this challenge, how He's blessing me during this challenge. I've been hearing from a lot of you about how He is blessing you in this challenge. And so we're just going to jump right into it. We're going to go ahead to get on to our topic for today, what we'll be talking about. And so the challenge for day 9 is get brave. Get brave. And I want to start it out by saying, or with a prayer, just praying that God would give you the grace and that He would give you the courage to ask for what you want. I'm going to say that again. I am praying for you that God would give you the grace and that He would give you the courage to ask for what you want. And I'll preface it with this. Every year, I don't typically make like New Year's resolutions or anything like that, but I do ask God to give me a word for the year. And so every year for probably the last 4 to 5 years, hey, April, thanks so much for joining. Every year for the last 4 to 5 years, God is always in the month of January. It's usually not before. I usually won't get confirmation that this is my word for the year until January. And I'm always praying about, God give me a word that's going to guide my year. Something that you want me to hone in on, something you want me to focus on. And so this year, as I was praying, God, give me the word. I hadn't received the word yet. And so I just kept going to God. I was like, okay, God, I'm used to getting my word for the year. What's my word for the year? And I believe it was probably around the middle of the month of January. God gave me the 3-letter word that I just said I was praying for you. And that was ask. A-S-K. Ask. And I'll tell you why that is significant for me. I am the kind of person that even though I have big faith, a lot of times I will settle. I'm going to say that again because I want y'all to really hear me, and I want you to hear my heart. A lot of times I'll settle and I'll say, well, God, I see what you might be doing in other people's lives, but if you could just do this for me, this is what I'm going to ask you for. And so when God gave me that word for the year, He said, I want you to stop being afraid to ask for what you want. Stop asking me for what you think that I will do for you, what you think you deserve, or stopping shy of what you really want. You keep asking me for what you sort of want or what you will be satisfied with, but you're not really asking me for what you want. And so as I was thinking about that, I'm thinking like, okay, Lord, I'm trying to to make sure that I'm not being greedy. Anybody ever felt like that? Um, Felt like you were being greedy and you were asking too much, or it wasn't going quite like you should, and so things weren't happening like you thought they would. And let me do this real quick. Okay. Sorry about this, y'all. My Instagram was bothering me because it kept going in and out. But so I would just ask for what I thought, was okay. I was afraid to just like put it out there. And so God gave me a couple scriptures that I'm going to share with you today. And these are very, very, very popular scriptures. We say them all the time. We quote them all the time. But a lot of times we don't take them to heart. And so I want to give you these scriptures, and I want you to make sure that you write them down and that you put them somewhere close to you so that you can refer to them. And it's Matthew chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. And I'm going to read both of them. And I'm reading in the King James Version. And it says, "Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." And then verse 8 says, "For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened." And so the Lord just kept, talking to me and saying, "I'm trying to get things to you, but you won't just open your mouth and ask me. And because you're not opening your mouth and asking me, that's letting me know that there's a disconnect in your faith. You won't ask for what you want because you don't think you'll receive it. So you ask for the next best thing, or you ask for what you think that I'll do. You'll ask for what you believe I will do instead of just asking me." And I could remember talking to a friend several years ago, and he was praying to God for something. And I was like, "Well, wow, you praying for that?" He was like, "Well, he's God. I'm not going to pray like I'm praying to man. I'm not going to, pretend that God can't do this." And so what I know that I needed to do was take the limits off of God. And so when I ask you today to get brave, what I am saying to you is stop asking God for things that are on your level to do. I'm going to say that again. Stop asking God for things that are on your level to do. So, and I'll equate that to this. Thank you so much, April, for putting the scripture reference in there. Instead of asking God for a car, ask God for the kind of car you want. Never mind what you think you can afford to buy. Because see, with me, how I will be is, I'm actually right now believing God for a new vehicle. Instead of just saying, "Well, God, I need a new car. I want a new car. Just give me like a nice little runaround car, something that I could do in the city. It doesn't have to be anything nice or fancy, God. If you could just bless me with a car." That's not what I want. But somewhere in my stinking thinking, I started asking God for what I thought I deserved, or what I thought I could pay for. I want y'all to hear me. What I could pay for. Instead of saying, "God, can you pay for this?" Like, what I'm asking you for, can you foot the bill for this? Does it have to be based on my bank account? What I'm asking for. And so he started challenging me. Stop asking for stuff that you can do in your own strength and in your own power. Because if you can do it in your own strength, if you can do it in your own power, then don't ask me for it. Then just go get it. If you need a car and you can afford to pay $500 a month on a new vehicle, just go get it. Why are you bothering me about that? Just go get what you can afford. And so It's starting and started and still continuing to challenge me to really be brave, to really understand who I am serving. Instead of asking God for a nice business that will, not just be a blessing to me, but be a blessing to others, that I can hire people, that I can actually, live a comfortable life. Why in the world am I not asking for a multi-billion-dollar business? Why? Do I think that God won't give that to me? Do I think that He does not want me to have that? If I am a child of the King and my heart is pure, God knows that I am going to sow back into other people. That is one of my heart's desire, is to be a kingdom philanthropist, where I can just have enough money to sow into kingdom business, to sow into kingdom ministry, to be a blessing to other people. I used to watch this show called, and I'm probably butchering the name of it, but the essence was like Secret Millionaire, where these very wealthy people, they would come into people's lives and they would see what they need, and then they would just bless them with it, whether it was a house or a car or whatever it was. I always wanted to be that person, to be able to do that, to come into somebody's life and to see a need and be able to meet it, like be able just to do it. And God was like, if you don't have the resources to do that, that'll never be you. But you got to be bold enough to ask me. Absolutely, Elliot. You got to be bold enough to ask me for it. And so, what I'm going to ask you to do is to ask God for something that you haven't before, that you were afraid to ask before, because somewhere in your spirit, somewhere in your faulty thinking, you thought that this was something that you either shouldn't have, or you fear, because the enemy is good about that, making us fear that we aren't supposed to have it, or fear that money will somehow corrupt us. Fear that if we get a whole lot of money, then it's going to change the person that we are. We won't be the same person, that will get arrogant, or we'll get beside ourselves, and we won't, do good in the earth. But that's just a trick of the enemy. There are so many wicked people with money. It is time for the righteous hand, for the righteousness of God to have money, because in these end times, we are going to need money to be a blessing. Because as we can see from governments across the earth, they're hoarding money. They're putting money in the wrong places. And if the people of the earth are going to be blessed, it's going to have to be through the righteous people of God. And so God has got to get money to us, but we have to get our mindsets right enough so that we can believe that we deserve it, that we believe we will be good stewards over it. And so our mind shifts have to change. We have to stop our stinking thinking. And so that's my challenge for you today, is to get brave and to ask God for what you want, for what you want. And I'm going to say something here that may shock you. Because a lot of times, especially when it's personal things or financial things, we think that it has to be mission driven. Like, okay, God, I want this car so that I can drive to the missions of the world, and I could drive around wherever my city is and be a blessing. God said it is His good pleasure to give to you the kingdom. Not just so, that is a reason, but not just so that you're a blessing, and you give and you sow into areas that need to be, sown into, because God gives seed to the sower, but so that you too can be blessed. God doesn't mind you. Hey, Leslie, thanks for joining. God doesn't mind blessing you. I want you to put that in the comments, because I want that to resonate. I want you to say that God does not mind blessing me. And I'm going to wait till I see y'all say it in the comments. God does not mind blessing me. Yes, He's going to bless the earth, but He has no problem blessing you. I want you to say that. God does not mind blessing me. Blessing me. He has no problem with it. Yes, April, God does not mind blessing me. And I want y'all to get that in your spirit. Yes, I said, God doesn't mind blessing me. God gets joy and he gets pleasure blessing you. He wants to see you prosper. He wants to see you in good health. He wants to see you doing well because you are his poster child in the earth. And when they see you doing well, they say, hey, God's blessing April again. Hey, God's blessing Ella again. Hey, God's blessing Leslie again. He's doing it again. And if he's blessing Leslie, if he's blessing April, then he could bless me. One of the reasons people look at the Jewish community and they are always enthralled with the wealth of the Jewish nations, and they call and they are proud of that, is because they can see that wealth and they say, oh, God did that. Isn't it time for the Christian nation, for people to look at us and say that, oh, God did that? That when people would look at your life and they would see the riches and the glory that God has in your life, oh, God did that. Not that it was anything that I did, not anything that you did, but that they would look at your life and they would see the wealth that God had blessed you with and say, oh, God did that. So I want you to be brave enough to ask for you. And I know that you are going to be a blessing with it. God already trusts you with it. He's not going to give it to you if he doesn't trust you. So I know he's going to trust you with it. So be brave enough. And I want you to ask for what you want. And so I want you to think, before we jump off today, I want you to think of one thing that is in your heart that you have been wanting. I already have the thing in my mind of what I am going to be asking God for. Actually, it's a few things. Some of it to bless kingdom and some of it to bless me. And maybe we'll do it like that. One thing to bless the kingdom and then one thing that blesses you. And I want you to ask for it today. I want you to write it down and I want you to ask God for it today. Say, God, I really want you to bless me with this so that I can be a blessing to the kingdom. And then I want you to do this just to bless me, because it's going to bless me. Yeah, I'll use it to bless the kingdom, but it's going to show bless me. Like this car I'm getting ready to ask for, it's going to bless me. I will use it to bless the kingdom, but I'm going to ask because I could just ask for any car. Cars is four wheels and gas. It doesn't have to look like nothing, but I'm not going to ask for that. So I want you just to think of two things. One thing that's going to bless the kingdom and one thing that's going to bless you. I want you to take the limits off of it. Don't ask for the bare minimum. Don't ask for mediocre. I want you to hit the roof with this ask. Hit the roof with this ask. And then use the faith that we've been talking about over the last several days to believe that God is going to do it for you. I am trusting and I am believing that he will do just what he said he would do. I love you all with the love of the Lord. Thank you all so much again for hanging with me on today. Y'all, we are heading into day 10. I'm so excited about it. If you have not already shared, I'm going to ask you to share this with somebody so that they'll get in on all this goodness that God has been pouring on the inside of us. And so share this with all of your friends. We are going somewhere. I promise you, God is taking us somewhere and we're going to see it before the end of the year. I love you all. Good night.